ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ते भूरिदा जनाः. The nectar of your story, the praise of poets' ears, elixir to parched souls, delight of listening ears, the cleaner out of sin is grand and glorious. They who spread it wide on earth are generous. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, this is the Sanskrit hymn I quoted by recited by Srimad Bhagavatam. That is about the life story of Sri Krishna. There, the poet says, your life story is with full of nectar, and the great poets are in your praise. When we hear that praise, it gives a lot of solace to the parched souls. And it is so delightful for listening. And by listening, what happens? It cleans our sin. It removes our sin, our evil, wrong emotions, wrongdoings. And your life story is very great, grand, glorious. And they who are trying to spread your life story and teachings, they are really cream of the society, or they are generous people. I mean, this is what the overall meaning of the Sanskrit hymn. Now, coming to today's topic, that is parables of Sri Ramakrishna. See, tales and parables of Sri Ramakrishna, as we all know, I mean, just and tales and parables are very interesting for everyone, either for a child, for an adolescent, for young or middle-aged, or even the aged person will be also interested in listening to the stories, listening to the parables. And if you see across the world, across the religions, and in all the languages, stories and parables are very interesting. There can be detective stories, there can be novels, and there can be very fearsome, cruelsome stories, and there are very generous, compassionate, which reflects love and divinity. So there are different type of stories. And if you see in the life of all the prophets, incarnations, they all use the stories as a means to teach their teachings, or to give their sublime ideas, philosophical concepts, values, and which is sometimes very rare or very difficult to understand. We can see in the life of Jesus Christ, and he has given good amount of parables, stories he has narrated. And Buddha stories are very famous in Jataka tales. And similarly, in Hinduism, in India, it is so rich in every language, starting from Sanskrit and the vernacular languages. They're so rich in the stories, in the literatures. And of course, it is very common in either in the Western countries or in the Middle East or in the Ireland. Yeah, we have got a beautiful stories. So the stories, one is life story. For example, when we grow, when we go to middle age, and we give our own examples to the young ones. Look, I did this. That's the reason I'm successful. I was not supposed to do this. I did this. As a result, I'm suffering now. I missed many things in my life. So, my dear, please do not do that. So, sharing our own experience, sharing our own wisdom to others through stories we do it. And the incidents happens in the life of prophets and incarnations, which also become the part of stories in Anne's. And otherwise, the absolute or absurd or very sublime ideas, sublime thoughts, highest philosophical concepts. It is not easy to comprehend for anyone and everyone. When we give philosophical discourses, sometimes though people keep listening, but after at the end of the class, sometimes people do tell, "Oh Swami, it was so nice, but everything went above the head." Means we didn't understand, we couldn't comprehend. It is so beautiful, it is so nice, it is so sublime, but we couldn't understand, we couldn't comprehend. So, understanding the problem of a common person, common folk, the prophets, incarnations, the philosophers, the wise ones, they took the help of these stories or parables. So, when they explain a concept with the help of story, people may remember or may not remember the concept or the philosophical idea, but they remember the story and they try to understand. And they'll be able to understand, accept, and maybe follow it. That's the reason the tales and parables or stories are very important and which is an integral part of our life and of the religious history and of the spiritual teachings or of the philosophical what do you say explanations also. Now Sri Ramakrishna also took the help of the stories and parables. And he was very good storyteller. And he used to do mimicry of people, and so beautifully used to narrate the stories. The people who are sitting in front of him, and they used to carry it over by the stories. As if, like if he's explaining a story of a Krishna, little Krishna, people used to feel exactly that now they're in the midst of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is in front of him, and then and Sri Krishna is whatever the story, according to the story has become live and it has become with full of life, and they would have witnessing and imagining just like Sri Krishna is there in front of him and is they're perceiving, they're witnessing the whole story. If he takes an example of probably of Jesus Christ or any other prophet or any other incarnations, the people is to feel that they are in that situation, particular situation, and they are witnessing. Such a wonderful storyteller Sri Ramakrishna was. And all his teachings are recorded in the Gospel of Ramakrishna by his own disciple, Mahendranath Gupta. In short form, we call M. He was a very good listener and he had a prodigious memory. So, whatever he used to listen, the same day used to come and used to write in his diaries. And whatever he had heard directly from Sri Ramakrishna, that only he wrote. He might have heard from other disciples, contemporaries, like Sri Ramakrishna told this, Sri Ramakrishna told that, or in this way and that way. He didn't write or he didn't note. Whatever he directly heard from Sri Ramakrishna, he only noted that, and in the due course of time, in Bengali language, which is the mother tongue of Sri Ramakrishna, the Gospel of Ramakrishna came as a Ramakrishna Kathamrita. Now, afterwards, it was translated into English, which is known as Gospel of Ramakrishna. And so many vernacular languages in India, it has been translated. And so many foreign languages also, like in French and Russian, Urdu, then German, then Portuguese. So many foreign languages also, the teachings has been translated. Now, earlier senior Swamis, monks, they have culled the parables from Sri Ramakrishna's Gospel and they have made a separate book. Today it is available online and offline both under the title Tales and Parables of Sri Ramakrishna. So based on this, I'll be discussing few his teachings or stories and I will try to give explanation for that. Now, today I would like to tell the nature of the personality. Every one of us, we all of us, we have got personality. It comes from the word called persone, that means mask. We are all covering some mask. In the olden days, if you remember, in Rome and also in India or in every part of the world, they used to wear some masks, some particular coloring and mask, and they used to enact. And afterwards, they started doing makeups, and again with the different costumes, they used to enact. And even today also, while if you witness any dramas, we will see that. And even in the films also. So it is called mask. So every one of us, we are covering some mask actually, isn't it? So, and according to the Indian philosophy, Sankhya and Vedanta philosophy, we have got three types of masks, or the entire humankind can be classified into three types. One is sattvic people, second is rajasic people, and the third is tamasic people. The whole personality can be classified into these three categories or three natured people. So this is basically comes from the Sankhyan philosophy, which is one of the oldest philosophy in the whole world, including India. So it is prior to even Vedanta. And these ideas also has been taken, Vedanta has taken these ideas in its philosophy. So according to it, the personality has got three characters, three nature. Three qualities makes a person a personality. That is sattva guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. Tamoguna means, for an example, how can you understand that this tamoguna? Like people are lethargical, lazy, they don't want to do anything, but they want every success, and which is very natural for it in every one of us. That is the nature of procrastination. We want to eat and we want to sleep more and we don't want to work. At the same time, we want good money and success, or even a sort of irresponsibility. All these things makes the part of tamas. Or when we are in tamoguna, when this tamas quality is there in us as a dominant way, so we will have this type of qualities as a manifestation. Then some are hyperactive, active or hyperactive. They're very ambitious. They're restless, and they love to work, love to achieve something, and they're always busy in achieving their targets. And they are bit show off people. They want to show what they are doing. Maybe meditation, maybe studies, or maybe helping people. So intense desire for name and fame, show off nature, all these things comes under rajo guna, rajas quality. So which in whomever so this quality, if it is in dominant, so that person has got a mask called rajoguna. So he is rajasic in temperament. Then some people are very calm, quiet, simple natured people, more compassionate, more loved ones, or more they love people. They try to help people. Out of the way, they go and help. And they are a bit peaceful and calm. And they want to God fearing people, or they would like to be spiritual studies. They're interested in more and more studies or in a knowledge per se. So such type of people, and they're interested in a bit ascetic nature and doing more and more spiritual practices, controlling the mind, manifesting the divinity, or self-realization, God realization, all these things, Al Kundalini Yoga and all we all say. So who has got a deep interest in any of them? So they are called sattvic natured people. So sattvic quality, sattva guna, is predominant in them. All these three gunas are there in everyone, but it is only the matter which guna, which nature is dominant in you. In some, rajoguna may be dominant and rajas and sattva will be lesser. In some, rajoguna may be dominant and sattva and tamo will be lesser. In some, sattva guna will be dominant and rajas and tamas will be lesser. Incidentally, any guna can come into the become dominant for a few hours, for in a stipulated time or few days. That is not a thing to be counted. But which is dormant for long time in his life, that is, it decides his nature. And while explaining these three qualities, all these three qualities binds human being. Like sattva can be compared to golden chain, rajoguna can be compared to silver chain, and this tamoguna can be compared to iron chain. Either it is iron chain or silver chain or golden chain. All these three gunas, they bind the soul, embodied self in this world. So it cannot get elaborated. He or she is not free from bondage or from the cycle of birth and death. Now, what to do? So, scripture says that you should evolve yourself. Theory of evolution. Now, well, Darwin's theory of evolution is different. Natural selection, survival of the fittest, all these things. So, we are not speaking of that evolution. So, according to the scriptures, Vedanta or Sankhya, they say that look, if we are tamogunis, if we are lazy, if we are docile and lethargic, then what we should do it? So understand first and foremost what is my dominant quality in me, which quality is dominant in me. Understand. Say for an argument's sake, now tamoguna is dominant in me. If you understand, if you feel it is, yes, it is fact, then what happens? You have to win over this tamoguna by becoming an active. Try to be ambitious, let you have more and more desires in a good way, of course, constructive way, and let me work more and more, let me achieve. So by being active, it may be a bit restless, it may be a bit painful, never mind, but by being active, you'll be able to control, you'll be able to curb the tamoguna. Then you became active, you achieved many things, and you have experienced dualities of the world, pleasure and pain, happiness and sorrow, praise and blame, so many things. So you are enjoying, and at the same time, sometimes suffering also is happening. That is a part of life. That is the part of the nature or creation. Then after some time, yourself will start thinking, look, I achieved many things. I got many things, no doubt. But at the same time, it is so restless and it is so highly paying my time and energy. And somewhere I feel, I mean, happy, unhappiness, good, bad, right, wrong, all these things, dualities are boggling me, are boggling my mind. What should I do now? Then the question comes, then the scripture say, yes. So try to reduce your desires. How to reduce? Well, it is by controlling the mind, by controlling the senses, which is told, obviously, yes. That's the one way of doing it. And at least I don't encourage people to suppress their desires. We should not suppress our desires. We should control our desires and we should channelize them. Okay, we have got desires, no doubt. So how to control the desires? Having right type of desires. Let me study more and more. Let me meditate more and more. Let me serve the mankind more and more. Let me understand and realize and experience what is the self, who is the divine, supreme spirit. So, this type of universalizing, spiritualizing desires, we should start. Then from slowly, from Rajoguna, slowly, we'll be traveling towards, we'll be evolving towards Sattvaguna. So he's calm, quiet, comparatively serene, meditative in nature, is very studious, and is a man of values, whatever, and he keeps his word, he keeps his words, he maintains his time, punctuality, and is very disciplined, and is very soft in his talk, and he doesn't hurt people unnecessarily, or at most he avoids it. So when these things, when people get, then that means you are sattvic. Then by doing this time and again, more and more, then you will be beyond these three gunas, trigunatita. You will transcend all these three gunas. That is what they called nature of moksha or kaivalya or enlightenment, self realization, according to the Sankhya philosophy. Now, you see so much example and analysis and explanation I have to give you. And if I take still more technical things and all, I can give for at least a few more hours of lecture on this thing. Now, Sri Ramakrishna explains this all philosophical ideas beautifully in a simple story or parable. Sri Ramakrishna says, like, once a man was going through a forest. Three robbers fell upon him and robbed him of all his possessions. One of the robbers said, "What is the use of keeping this man alive?" So saying, he was about to kill that man with a sword. Then the second robber interrupted him, saying, "Oh, no, no, what is the use of killing him? Why should we get sin? Instead of tie him on foot and leave him here, tie him to the pole or the tree and leave him here." The robber, all the three robbers, bound his hands and feet to the tree and they left. After a short while, among the three robbers, one of the robber came back, third robber returned and said to the man, "Oh, I am sorry. Did you feel hurt? Are you hurt? I shall release you from your bondage." And he released him. After setting him free, the thief said, "Come with me. I will take you to the public highway." After a good amount of walking, and they came to the main street or main path, which takes to the city. At this, the thief said, "This is the way. If you follow this, you'll be reaching your city." Then the person who got robbed, he said, "Sir, you are so good and kind to me. Come with me to my house. I would like to feed you. I would like to give some presents," because he was a rich man. Then the robber replied, "No, no, no, I cannot come. I cannot go to your house. If the police will know it, then they will arrest me." So saying that, he left, he disappeared. It's a simple story. Any small, even child, a child or baby also understands it. And so Sri Ramakrishna is telling this whatever the forest is nothing but this creation or the universe or the world. Fine. And these three robbers represent sattva guna quality, rajas quality, rajo quality, and tamo guna or tamas quality. The robber who said, "Oh, we have robbed him. What is the use of keeping him? Let us kill him." And he took his sword and he wanted to kill him. So that person is the most devil-natured person. He wanted to kill him, even after robbing, after taking away all his possessions, or his money or wealth. And that person resembles or represents tamoguna. Means, I am ready to kill anyone and everyone. I am ready to push down anyone and everyone. I may get something, I may not get something. I may be beneficial from that, or even I may not be beneficial from that, but he or she has to perish, he or she has to be killed or slain. So this type of such a devil-natured person is called a person who has got tamoguna. So the robber, after robbing, still he wanted to kill a person. Then immediately one more robber said, "Come on, why should we kill? Fine, we are doing mistake, no doubt. We are taken wealth and all his gold and jewelry, money from him. Fine, that is for our livelihood. But why should we kill him? Let us tie him here. Either he may die, or an animal may come and eat, or if his luck is good, he may get released and he may go back to his life." So he is doing mistake, no doubt, robbing the other person, but at the same time, he doesn't want to kill. So he's bit considerable in nature. He wants to be happy, no doubt, but at the same time, he doesn't want to unnecessarily create trouble for others. I wanted money, I robbed him, fine, but I don't want to kill him. I will not harm him. So he is bit refined in his quality. He is bit refined in his nature. He is bit refined in his personality. Fine. Then they were tired. And see, dominant people, dictator or dominant and dogmatic people are mostly will be in Rajoguna people. That's why he said, no, we will do this. And rest of the two had to agree it. Then they tied and they left. Then Satvaguna person, he was well aware. Even if I say, no, we have taken the money from him, all his wealth and possessions, fine. But why should we, I mean, what he will do, what he can do, let him go away. Why should we trouble him? We should not. Even he wished it, the third robber, but he was well aware, even if I say, these two guys will not listen. So he kept quiet. But when all the three walked, for some probably he might have given some blame excuse, he came and he released that person. Not only released from the ties or bondage, and he also took him because in the forest he may miss the path. So he took him, he led him, and he brought him to the main path, main road, which takes to the city. And he said, come on, now if you take this path, you will safely will reach your home, reach your destiny, or reach your city. There is no one when problem, you go ahead. So at least a person who had lost his possessions, he didn't had any other, what do you say, expectation that if I mean a belief or a hope that he can leave, but still this person came and he released him. Not only that, he brought him to the main road, and at the same time, when the person who was robbed, and when he asked him, come on, you helped me so much, you looks like you are a kind person, why don't you come with me, why don't you accompany me? Then he said, no, I cannot come. If I come, police will catch me. Police will put me under bars, since I am also a thief. But so I'm not supposed to come. Thank you. Please go ahead. And he also disappeared in the forest. I mean, just he went into the forest inside. So even the sattvic quality is so considerable in his nature. He's so pious, or for some reason somehow he's in that group of robbers, no doubt. But his love is compassionate, is considerate. He didn't want to kill him. He wanted to let him free, and he also showed the path to reach the city. So sattva guna, who is very pious natured, yes, the sattva guna is also creates bondage for us, no doubt, but it is golden chain, but it is nearer to God, nearer to real humanity, it is nearer to self, and it is nearer to the what you say, compassion, love, and the highest values. So many times we think, for example, spiritual aspirants do come and ask, Swami, I'm not able to get up. I'm not able to control my mind. I'm not able to sit. I'm not able to study. Fine. But I want to sit for meditation for a long time. I would like to do spiritual practice for a long time. What shall I do? Fine, we have to practice, no doubt. But when we are tamogunic people, if it is more tamoguna in us, if we want to practice sattvaguna, generally it is not possible. Maybe for stipulated time at a given point of time it is possible, but for a long time it is not possible. So then what should we do? We should do means we should be active. By being active, so that we'll be able to reduce our letharginess, procrastination nature, laziness, unwanted things, all we can reduce and we become active. But when we are active also, yes, we cannot control our mind because of desiring nature, restless nature, and all. But still we are active. At least letharginess, all these things have gone down. So by doing it slowly, slowly, if you spiritualize your desires, if you cultivate good values like compassion, love, affection, helping nature, all these things, from slowly, from rajas to sattva, we will evolve. And from when we are in sattva, we'll be able to meditate, we'll be able to study, we'll be able to do our spiritual practices, and we can reach the God or the self in a better way. So this is what the gradation of the sadhana. So what is personality? There are so many millions of people in the whole world, but all these people, either men or women, belong to any religion, belong to any culture, or any country, or any ethnicity. All of them can be categorized into three groups. either sattva natured people, rajo natured people, and tamas natured people. Either one of them will be there in these three. And slowly we have to evolve from tamas to rajas, from rajas to sattva, and from sattva we have to uh, evolve, or we have to transcend all these three qualities so that we can reach our divine nature, our real nature, our true nature. Again, such a philosophical concept in a simple way, Sri Ramakrishna has explained. And Sri Ramakrishna also gives a wonderful one more example. He takes the example of the kite. For the kite, I mean, once few fishermen, they were trying to catch fish on the bank of the ocean or on the river. Fine, they were catching and they were putting on the baskets. Then one kite came and it took a big fish in its beak and it started flying. Oh, this fisherman said, "Oh, look, they took a big sized fish." But they couldn't do anything. Already by the time kite was had flight for a good height. Then it started flying. A, a good number of crows started chasing the kite. Why? Because they wanted all the crows wanted fish. Now kite felt okay, these crows are chasing, and it started flying more in a good speed. Crows also increased their speed, and the kite went in the east direction. The crows chased it. After some time, the kite felt okay, let me change my direction, and it turns towards north and it started flying towards north. Crows also changed their direction and they started flying, I mean, chasing the kite. Then it started turning towards west, and towards west, it started flying. Crows chased it. Then it started with east. Then the crows also chased it. After a good amount of flying again and again, kite got angry and annoyed, and it wanted to scold the crows. You people, why are you chasing me like this? I didn't do anything wrong for you. And it opened its beak or mouth to scold the crows. When it opened the mouth, the fish fell down. When the fish fell down, in no time, all the crows left the kite and they all went down on the earth to catch the fish. The kite felt so relaxed. Oh my goodness. Because of this fish, they were chasing me. Otherwise, they don't have any job work with me. And the kite, it went and near a tree, it sat and it relaxed and it started enjoying the peace. Because for this one small piece of fish had to run in all these directions, and the crows chased me. God, I mean, we don't know. I don't know what it used to. All these crows used to make. Anyhow, that fish let it go. But now I am peaceful. I am safe, and I am happy. So this is a simple story which Sri Ramakrishna explains. After explaining what does it mean, so this fish represents your desires, and the kite represents the mind. So when we are a person, when we are holding desires, what happens? So many things keeps on coming, like happiness, unhappiness, good, bad, right, wrong, pleasurable, unpleasurable, restlessness, anxiety, stress, depression, phobias, all these things will be coming and it will be boggling our mind. Why? Because of our worldly desires. Desires for name and fame, desires for the money, desires for to achieve many things in the world, in our life. That's why we have to face all these things. Even Buddha also said, desire is the root cause for all our suffering. And he uses the word in Pali language that is tanha. Tanha means craving, trushna. In Sanskrit, it is trushna. That means it is craving. Craving for the world and its objects. Craving for the sense pleasures. Craving for the sense enjoyments. That is the root cause for all our suffering. We suffer, we suffer, we suffer. We struggle. We experience so many dualities in this world. Why? People say, oh, because this is what the nature of creation. This is what the nature of the world. This is how the life is. So Out of helplessness, people do accept, and that's how they will be the victim of these dualities. But if you ask a wise man, they say that no, it can be avoided. Rather, it can be transcended. How? Spiritualize your desires. Leave these mundane desires. I need money to live in the world, fine. Try to get it, no doubt. But don't think that money, achieving money, or getting money is the alpha and omega of the life. I, I need a good dignity and respect from the people, no doubt. But you should not be obsessed just with the desire for name and fame, or power and position, or the praisings of the people. We need clothes, we need shelter, we need some recreation, we need some enjoyment in the life, no doubt. We should have all that, but we should not be obsessed with mere all these things, and we should not get limited. We should not confine ourselves to these things, and so that we become limited and we struggle and suffer. And why we feel limited, why we have become the scapegoat of all these desires, of all these dualities, means again, why? Because the root cause is what? The desire to enjoy the world and its objects, our sense pleasures. Once that is removed, everything gets removed. So this is what we have to understand. And Sri Ramakrishna, such a beautiful, a grand philosophy, the basic philosophy, the root cause for all our problems has been explained by Sri Ramakrishna in one simple example. The moment the kite left the fish, dead fish, then the crows chasing the kite, they also left and they went towards the fish. So when the mind leaves away desires, we feel that we are having desires, we are trying to control desires, we are trying to have desires, and we are having trying to control desires. But in reality it is not so. Desires are controlling us. I am supposed to be master of my senses, I am supposed to be the master of my mind. But unfortunately, the fact is, my senses and my mind is controlling me. I have become the slave of my senses, of my mind, of my desires. That's why I may be a millionaire, but still I am the slave of my desires, of my instincts, of my mind. The moment when I leave all these things, then what happens? I can attain happiness, I can attain everlasting bliss. But unfortunately, we feel that, okay, if I get a graduation, if I get a good degree in a reputed university or college, I'll be happy. We feel that. We strive for it. Fine, we should strive, no doubt. We strive for it. Once we get a graduation, then immediately then the next problem comes for us. Yes, I did my graduation. Fine. Now I should get a good job. I should get a job. When you're getting a job, you feel, "Ah, I should be secure. It should be in a good company, less work, more money, and it should be free from hurdles." Fine. You got a job, then you are starting murmuring, and you say that no, I should get a decent job, lucrative job, safe job. Fine, you got all of them. After so much striving, then you said everything is fine, but my colleagues are not okay, or my boss is not okay, or my juniors, the people who are working under me, the team is not okay. Oh my God, why can't I get a good company? So we are trying to expect the perfect world as I think. Then you got it. Yeah, everything is okay. But here, this company won't give me leave at all. To get 1 day leave or 1 week leave for something, I have to struggle. Whereas my friends are getting easily leave. So somewhere I should try for it. Then you got it. Yeah, fine, all these things. Some other reason we will give. And we say, okay, now everything I have got, then by that time, some other problem will come and I'll be busy in that. And so, like this, the whole life goes. If I get a good wife, I'm husband, I'm happy. If I get a good children, I'm happy. If I get wealth, I'm happy. If I get good name and fame, I'm happy. If I become a celebrity, I will be happy. Or if I have a power in my hand by being a TD in the Irish language in Ireland, like MP in India, we say member of parliament. Or if I become a minister, or if I become a like a great millionaire, like Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, like that, we'll be happy. We feel that. But when we go to that state, we'll understand that how how many challenges we have to face. So, the real security, the real happiness, the real bliss, the real peace doesn't exist in any of these things, either in the world or in its objects or in the products. The real happiness, the real bliss, it is only in me, and that is my real nature. That's what Vedanta is trying time and again to tell us. And this grandest idea, this sublime idea, this great subtle idea has been explained by Sri Ramakrishna in one simple parable of this kite story, kite holding a fish and the crows chasing it. So we are all searching for peace. We are all searching for happiness. We are all searching for security. We are all searching for what do you say, goodness and free from all the problems, dualities, all these things. How much ever you try to get external accomplishments, it gives some sort of security, some sort of peace, some sort of happiness, but it is not complete. It will not give complete thing. Only when you are free from desires, free from unnecessary craving of sense pleasures, and trying to depend on God more and more, trying to depend on self more and more, which is divine, then you will be really free person. Really, I can get freedom. So I should be the master of my senses and mind. Then only I am really free person, and really I will have a mastery, which is called self mastery. I may having million of euros, but if I am a slave for my mind and desires, then really I am living the life of slave. Maybe I am the rich slave. So someone are poor slave and I'm a rich slave. Yes, I've got a mason, I'm in a good castle, and I've got a lot of property, good vehicles, people are there, everything is there, but still I am slave. I am not free person. Just a small thing can change me, can shook me, my mind, my emotions, all these things. So the reality is what? The happiness, the strength, the security is in me, not in others, not in any of our relatives, not in our family, not in our friends, not in the world and its objects or in the products. It is in me. So this is what the great grand idea Sri Ramakrishna says. I think one more example I will give, one more story, and I will finish. In one person, even with a great pomp and show, used to celebrate Durga Puja during Dasra. So used to arrange. It's a costly thing. It's a 9 days, at least 5 days puja. Lot of articles you need, food and food offerings, fruits, flowers, and so many things you have to arrange. It is a huge affair, basically. A lot of money if you go traditionally to do. It needs a lot of money involved there, and people you need good support. And this fellow used to do. And in some places they also got a habit to sacrifice the animals, but of course, like in our ashramas in India, we do, and we don't sacrifice animals. Instead of we sacrifice a cucumber or a bottle god as a symbolic representation. But there are people who sacrifice animals and they cook and offer to the god, and they also eat as a offering, as a prasad. And this fellow also used to do everything so nicely. People used to feel so nice. Oh, he's such a devotee of Mother. With so much is spending money in worshipping Divine Mother. How blessed he is, how spiritual he is, how religious he is, how good he is. Like that, people used to think. And they used to come and they used to show respect and they used to praise him also. Yes, few decades over, he became old and he had lost his many of the tooth. Then slowly, he started worshipping the mother in a simple way, not much sacrifices of animals, and not much with a great pomp and show. Then one year, people felt maybe this time he's not well. He has got probably financial glitches, so he didn't do it. It went for 1 or 2 or 3 years. Then people started scratching their head. Why all of a sudden the change in him? Because he is old and his children are not listening. Anyhow, one fellow went and asked him, used to do the mother worship during this 5 days, Navaratri time, 5 days, so with such a great pomp and show, and with such a elaborate rituals, and with animal sacrifices and all. Now you have stopped. Why? Then that old man, he opens his mouth and he shows, look, there are not many teeth. when very few teeth are left over. He says, yes, because of the old age, fine. That is why I've stopped all these things doing mother worship in a great scale. That fellow didn't understand. He scratched his head. Look, you were feeling, I mean, falling teeth, and you simplified the worship of the Divine Mother. I don't get the, what do you say, link or connection. He says, because now my teeth have fallen, I am not able to eat meat. So that since I'm not able to eat meat or enjoy meat, that's why I've reduced the worship and I've simplified it. So till recently, why he was doing all this worship in a great pomp and show? Because he was enjoying his meat, eating meat. So that's why he was doing. Now, since he's not able to eat the meat, he has reduced the worship of mother. See, many times that's how all our show, spiritual practices and religious practices, visiting some religious places and helping people, etc., etc. It is to show who I am, how great I am. And if something is beneficial to me, then I will help. Otherwise, I will not help. So this is a typical Rajoguni natured person. If my name and fame, I don't get my name and fame, if I don't get what you say, advertisement of myself, or if they don't respect me, or if they don't give me a right chair, then I will not help any charitable organization. Whoever gives, I will help. I am not because of love and compassion I'm helping people, because they will give support, or they will recognize me, or they will satisfy my ego. So this type of nature many times we will have. Then what happens? By that again it is a bondage. Maybe it is a good work, no doubt, helping people, but again we will get some punya merits, no doubt, but again it is a bondage. So by just external activity, many times we can't understand person who is he actually. When when we know his or her intentions, then only we can understand what type of person he is. So the intentions are very, very important. Even Swami Vivekananda gives a beautiful explanation regarding these intentions. If the intentions are pure, then the work will be pure. External some defects may be there, but it brings greater effect. It brings greater merits for a person, and even the mankind or the society will be also be beneficial in a greater scale. So it is not the work how you do, what you do is important. The intent, of course, it is all, but more than this, the intentions are very, very important. With what intention you are doing it, because that's what it creates impact on your life, on your thoughts, on your tendencies, on your character, on your personality. No, see, this is such a beautiful, again, highest philosophy Sri Ramakrishna has explained in a simple example. A old man stopped worshipping Divine Mother because he lost his teeth. Means he's such a selfish natured person. He's again slave of his mind and senses. He wanted to enjoy the world in the name of the God. So many people, why in the name of religion there's a bloodshed? Why in the name of religion a lot of scandals happen? In the name of religion, why there are so much cruelty? In the name of religion, why there is a division? In the name of religion, why there are wars? Because when we practice religion, there is no problem. But when we use religion, then there is a problem. In the name of religion, if we do bloodshed, if we kill people, if we suck out the people's blood or energy, that means we are not practicing religion. We may quote from scriptures, from any religion, of course, but we are not practicing religion. We are using the religion for our own selfish cause. This is very clear. So religion is what? Which makes a man a better human being, which makes him divine, which makes him love, compassion. If he's lying, if he's manipulating, if he's selfish, self centered, and his intentions are not pure, that means whoever he may be, either a monk or a householder, a religious person or spiritual person, or a lay person, that means his intentions are not right and pure. That means he's not spiritual person, he's not near God, rather he's near devil. So all these ideas has been explained in this one simple parable by Sri Ramakrishna. So let us try to understand more and more this highest philosophy, or highest philosophical concepts with the help of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings. May Sri Ramakrishna bless all of us and guide us in a right way so that we shall understand that we are divine in our real sense or as a real nature. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.